Okay, hi, and welcome back. What I am doing here is recreating La Haye Sainte. So what I've done is the troops that belong to La Haye Sainte. Now I'm going after the Warlord La Haye Sainte box set, which is that right there, which gives you the buildings. Now La Haye Sainte was actually in the battle map. La Haye Sainte was right here. These are the troops that were involved in that battle. It was Wellington's Reserve Cavalry, which came in and assisted the troops at La Haye Sainte. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to recreate the actual troops that were there. Now Black Powder did a great job, or I should say Warlord Games did a great job on putting this thing together, because what they did was, in the back of the book, it gives you a complete listing of the soldiers that were involved. Now this is for their Black Powder rules, but here you have the 2nd King's German Legion Brigade with the 1st to 2nd Light Battalions, the 58th Line Battalions. Then you have the Hanoverian Brigade, which had the Light Field Battalions, the Jaggers, the York Battalion, the Bremen and Verdun Battalions. And then you had the 28th North Gloucestershire Regiment, the 32nd Cornwall Regiment, the 79th Cameron Highlanders, and 6 companies of the 9th Rifles. Also had the Rogers Royal Artillery, so you have Royal Artillery there as well. And then you have the Household Brigade Cavalry, and that's what I'm working on right now. We're working on the 1st, the 2nd Life Guards, the Royal Horse Guards, and the 1st King's Dragoon Guards. So that's what I'm working on now. Plus, as far as cavalry goes here, we're looking at the 13th Cavalry Division of the 1st and 4th Cuirassiers. Now that being said, this is what we're looking at here. Now, nobody makes the lifeguards yet, and that's the ticket with this. So with the lifeguards, you can see them here with their helmets. Now, these here are the King's Dragoons. Those there are the French Cuirassiers. So that's the 1st. This is the 1st King's Dragoons, and this is the 1st Lifeguards. The Lifeguards, and this is going to be the understrength 2nd Lifeguards. So it's the 1st, the 2nd, with the 1st Dragoons here. Now, I actually used the carabiner helmets from the French Cuirassier pack in order to make my lifeguards, because they don't make any. So this box of Perry's right here, this is what I utilized to you see the helmets, right? The carabiners right there, and the cuirassiers. So that being the case, I used that helmet right there for the lifeguards. So that being said, what we're looking at is this. We're looking at, and this book is pretty cool. I've got another book on order, but I've had this since I was like 10 years old. And this is the 1815, The Armies at Waterloo, by Hugo Pericoli and Michael Glover. So this is an awesome book. And what we're looking at here is right here. These are your 1st lifeguards, and if you notice the helmets here, and then you have the 1st King's Dragoons Guards, which that's the King's Dragoon Guards right there, and these are your lifeguards, which are here. So I actually utilized the carabiner helmets from the 1st Cuirassiers. So that being said, when I was researching, and Black Powder did a great job on researching the troops that were there. Now, what I ended up doing was I ended up utilizing several books, and Osprey's books, first Quatre and Mont Saint Jean and Wavre. So this book right here, and this book right here. However, this was an awesome book. This is The Birth of Modern Europe. This is actually what gave me what I needed as far as finding out what troops were going to be involved. And it was the Order of the French battle right there, and then we had the British order of battle, which there's the Prussians and here's the British, and it ends up being the cavalry corps under Uxbridge. We end up using the 1st, the 2nd Life Guards and the Royal Horse Guards. That's what was at Haye Sainte. So they're fighting over here. So this is what we're looking at here. Now, what we're doing is, when I did my research, now each one soldier here, one miniature represents 12 actual cavalry troopers. So this right here is a squadron. That's a squadron there, and that's a squadron there. Now, British and French squadron, for a French regiment, you needed 5 squadrons. But the way things ended up being is, when I looked at the muster rolls, a lot of these regiments didn't have enough guys. So what I'm doing is, to cut costs on my end, and kind of realistically, I just don't want to have a troop of 3 or 4 guys, because the rule sets that I play with, one soldier is 1 pip on a dice. So now what ends up happening is, these troops end up being a full squadron, whereas I'd need another 2 squadrons to make the regiment if you wanted a full complement, because almost every squadron was under strength. No, not one regiment had all their troops there. So that being said, this is what I'm doing. So if you wanted to make the Life Guards, you get a box of your French cuirassiers here, and you get the British Dragoons, the British Light Dragoons, and where are we with that? Here we are. There's the British Light Dragoons right here. So we're looking at the British Light Dragoons right there, and all you do is you end up giving them, instead of those helmets there, you end up giving them those helmets there, and there you go. So that actually works out, and then you paint them up, and they'll actually work out. So that's what we're doing here. Now I want to show you over here. I want to show you the Imperial Guard. And these are Visitrix Imperial Guard right there. These right here are Perry miniatures, the ones that we're looking at right here. Now what I want to show you is this, is if you take one of these Imperial Guards, and you put them there, and you take one of these guys and you put them there, and this is the size difference now. This is what you're looking at. You're looking at, whoops, for a comparison of Perry and Visitrix, that's what you're looking at. That's really not bad at all. They're pretty close. So I remember, because I wanted to get some extra troops here, but I didn't want to spend the money and buy stuff that I couldn't use. So the ranges of Perry, Visitrix, and Black Powder actually are not too bad, because what you're looking at here is the boxes that I picked up of the Waterloo British line. You're looking at Warlord's Black Powder guys right there. Then you're looking at Visitrix, the center companies and the flank companies, and then the Perry miniatures come in these boxes here, which I've already opened up. So the Perry miniatures end up being these guys right here. So you put them here like that, and these end up being like this. So that's actually not too bad when you look at them. So there you got Perry's right there and Visitrix. So that's not bad. I haven't put any black powder together. Oh, wait a minute. I believe I did. It's going to be these guys, which are the 95th rifles. They come in the black powder British infantry set. So I threw those together just to see what they look like, and they're not too bad. They're not too bad. So yeah, can you mix and match them? Sure you can, and it actually works out pretty well. So what I end up doing is I end up putting together the French artillery. This is going to be the 54th line, and I'm doing the infantry as the same way that I'm doing the cavalry, which is one soldier equals 12. 1 miniature equals 12 soldiers. One cannon is a battery, which by rights you had six artillery pieces in a battery. But I think the Russians had more. I think the Russians had about 8 to 10 artillery pieces in their batteries. So the majority of the armies had five pieces or 6 pieces in their artillery batteries. But this is what we're looking at here. So they actually work out pretty well. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use these guys right here. This is going to be under strength Life Guard 2nd Battalion. The Life Guard 2nd Battalion. 2nd Regiment. So this is the 1st, the 2nd, the 1st Guards, and the Courier